Okay, so this is section 9.4, which is roughly order of operations with scary fractions. Okay? No panicking. The order of operations stuff is exactly the same. Okay? Exactly the same as with regular fractions. They're just scarier. Okay? You all can do this. I know you can. It's really not so bad. All we have to do is not panic when there's lots of x's and y's in our fractions. Cool? I hope you guys are used to these by now. All right, so let's try an example. And really, that's all we're going to do in this. So let's simplify x to the minus 1 minus x to the minus 2 over x to the minus 1 plus x to the minus 2. Does everyone agree that this fraction is terrifying?
I'm already thinking that.
Okay, so do we have to remember what a negative exponent means? You guys remember or not?
Isn't it just 1 over and then x to the whatever
Yeah.
exponent is?
Okay, so first things first, I've got this kind of terrible mess, right? I should think about, okay, the only thing I know about negative exponents is that that means, right, when there's a negative in the exponent, that means this object belongs in the bottom. Okay. So first things first, I rewrite with objects in the bottom, right? Okay, so x to the minus 1 is 1 over x to the 1, which is just x, right? And then we're subtracting 1 over x squared. You guys playing along? The negative just kicks things to the bottom. Okay, this is all over what?
1
Another
over x.
fraction.
1 over x plus 1 over x squared. Okay, cool. So, you guys see the false cancel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? What do you want to cancel? Yeah, you kind of want to cancel this stuff vertically, right? Why can't you? Because there's a minus on the top and a plus on the bottom, right? That's stopping me on 2 counts.
So it's not the plus and the minus canceling out to 0 only works when they're both on top
Yep.
or both on bottom.
Yep. Right, when I'm adding to 0, they have to be in the same part of the fraction for me to do that. Really, that's an order of operations thing, right? That's saying these guys are in parentheses, so unfortunately I have to do this business first, right? And these guys are in parentheses, so I have to do that business first. Then I divide, right? Okay, so how do we deal with this? Okay, we could write it as a division problem.
What can you
Don't
switch?
we want to take out the -1 and make it the same as the bottom like we did in the 9.2?
If we tried to factor a -1 out of the top or bottom, we have to switch both signs. You guys see that? That won't be the same as here, because we'll get the plus we kind of are looking for, but there will be a minus here. Bummer, right?
Yeah.
When the signs don't match in the middle, you're sort of hosed on that. When both signs are off, that's when you do the factor out -1 trick. Okay, so I don't know. I could write this as division. That might be a good idea. So we could say, all right, this is 1 over x minus 1 over x squared divided by, oh, whoops, I need this whole thing, right? To keep track of my order of operations. The whole thing had to get done first. Then I have to divide by the whole thing, what?
That's much.
1 over x plus 1 over x squared.
1 over x plus 1 over x.
The bottom part, right? This guy. You guys cool with that? That's really what I meant here, right? There were kind of implied parentheses here. And I meant take this piece, divide it by that piece. So another way to write that is this, right? Now, if this were a fraction, I could just flip it over and multiply, right? You guys see that? But it's not one fraction by itself, so I can't do that trick. So, yeah, I can't just flip both pieces because they're added together. I can flip a whole fraction, right? If this was fraction bar all the way across, then I could flip over and multiply. But it's not. So maybe I should make each of these into their own fraction. You guys see that? So what's the common bottom on this piece? X squared. You guys see that? I need an x and an x. This one's got an x and an x. This one's only got one. So I should rewrite, all right. Let's see, this guy will need an x, right? So I'll get an x over x squared minus 1 over x squared. Is with that. So that's x minus 1 quantity over x squared, right? We'll do that in the next step. On the bottom, what's the common bottom? Also x squared, right? So I get a x over x squared plus 1 over x squared. So in my next step, combining, I get a x minus 1 over x squared. Oh yeah, now we can, I'm gonna go one more step and then I'll flip it. So what am I left with here? We've got an x plus 1 over x squared. Perfect. You guys see this? Okay, so now I can make this into x minus 1 over x squared times, flip this guy over, x squared over x plus 1. So now what? Now we can see the onesie, right? That's a onesie. So we can cancel that. So we get a x minus 1 over x plus 1. Can I do anything with that? No. I could try the factor of minus 1 out trick, but it won't work. You guys want to see a simple way to do this?
Yes, please.
Okay, so 4. Right? Write it the first way. So, let's see, so I've got x to the minus 1 minus x to the minus 2 over x to the minus 1 plus x to the minus 2. So first things first, I rewrite as my first step. So 1 over x minus 1 over x squared over 1 over x plus 1 over x squared. And then at this stage, I think, okay, what's the common bottom? Don't find it, though. Or don't force it. So just think, what would the common bottom be? Common bottom on the top would be x squared, right? Common bottom on the bottom would be x squared. So what if I just multiply by x squared over x squared? That'll kind of clear the fractions. So I take this thing, and I say, okay, this is 1 over x minus 1 over x squared over 1 over x minus 1 over x squared. Then I multiply by x squared on the top and x squared on the bottom. You guys see that? Say again? Oh, thank you. You guys see this? So remember, there are implicit parentheses here and here, right? So I get, let's see, this has to distribute through. So I get x squared over x minus x squared over x squared over x squared over x plus what? X squared over x squared. Okay, now simplify the pieces. Go through and find some onesies here.
You said that you can't do it when there is minus.
So you can't cancel this thing and that thing, right? But this is x squared divided by x. What's that?
X.
That's an x. How about this piece?
1.
That's a 1. This is a x plus 1. You guys see that? So what was the trick here?
Multiply it by the common bottom.
Yeah, if you could find the common bottom of the top and the bottom, you multiply by that, it'll clear the fractions out for you. You guys see that? That's like when we have those long equations, right, with lots of fractions. Then we just think, okay, what's the common bottom across everything? We just slam it with that. Same thing. Here I'm slamming top and bottom with their common bottoms. I need to make sure, right, that I'm multiplying by 1. You guys see that? The common bottom on the top were x squared, the common bottom on the bottom were x cubed. I couldn't multiply by x squared over x cubed, but I could multiply by x cubed over x cubed. Does that make sense? So kind of pick the commonest bottom. Cool? Alright. You guys want to try another scary thing like this? So this is number 26 out of your homework, just FYI. Okay, so how do I start this off? What's the hardest thing about these?
Reading them.
Yeah, it's exactly reading them. The first thing you need to do is establish what you're dividing by what. So you go through the book and look for the biggest division line, right? You guys see that? I want to know whether the parentheses go like this, right? Or like this piece divided by all this junk. You guys see that? I need to find the parentheses here somehow. So I see the biggest division bar first, right? That means the top and bottom of that are in the biggest set of parentheses. So I've got this stuff divided by this stuff. You guys see that? Okay, so when I see division like this, what do I do?
Take it out. Write it horizontally.
Okay, I could write it horizontally. So I've got a squared minus b squared, sorry, over 6a squared b cubed. You guys seeing the false cancel here?
Yes.
Don't fall for that one, right? And I'm dividing this thing by what? A plus b divided by 9a cubed b. Okay, so that gives me what?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So to be on the right page of what's like to count the mix-up cancel or whatever you call it, is that the A?
Yeah, so the false cancel I'm talking about is the a squared on top and bottom, right?
All right.
I
That's
can't
what
cancel
I thought.
this. right? Because there's a squared minus other stuff that doesn't have an a squared in it.
Okay.
Right, if I could factor an a squared out, then I could cancel them. But there's no a squared in this piece, so I can't factor it out.
Okay.
With me?
Yeah,
There's
because
also a
it's-
false cancel here with b's. You guys all see that?
Because it's a negative b squared.
Yeah, well, really, I'm looking at b squared over b cubed, right? I'm saying, oh, well, I could cancel a couple b's. Oh, except that there aren't any b's in this piece. Remember, I have to have multiplication by 1 to cancel. This isn't multiplication by 1. This is like the left half of the top and the bottom have a common factor, which isn't enough to do anything. Okay, so now what's my next step? I guess I should put my parentheses in. Okay, can I flip this one? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you could flip this one. Why or why not could you flip this one?
Because it's a multiple.
Yeah, this is one fraction, so I can in fact flip it. Yeah, I'm not adding two fractions, so I can in fact flip this guy. Oops, I started writing over here. So let's see, I've got a squared minus b squared over 6a squared b cubed. And then this is multiplied now by 9a cubed b over a plus b. And now this is a like 9.2 problem, right? We learned to do these before. Okay, so what do I do? Yeah, there's a difference of squares. Perfect. So I get, all right, there's a plus b times a minus b. Good. Now we're over what? What's on the bottom there? Yeah, I'm going to be able to cancel some of this
6a
stuff.
squared b.
So there's a, I'm going to write this way. There's a 3 times a 2, right? That's my 6. Then there's a squared b cubed. Okay, then this other guy that I'm multiplying by, there's a plus b down here, right? And on the top, there's 3 times 3 times, well, there's 3 a's, right? Which I might write as a squared times a times b. Okay, now do I see onesies? Yeah, lots of onesies, right? So there's, where's the first one you see? Really? Okay. All right, so this bit, say again? Sure.
A squared.
It doesn't matter. It's all multiplication, right? Everything here I'm doing is multiplication. So I can cancel in whatever order I want to. Traditionally, I cancel numbers first, but if we see the a plus b first, get rid of it. Yeah, it's fine. So these guys are a onesie. What else?
A squared b.
There's 3's. This 3, that 3. There's a squared and an a squared. Oh, I kind of blew it with this one, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 b's here and 1 b there. So what am I left with? I cancel this, and I'm left with a square there. You guys cool with that? Okay, so have I got everything? Maybe. I would advise that you don't ask yourself that question. Don't ask the, did I get everything? Get some stuff, rewrite it, see if you can get anything else, right? I think this is probably too much canceling in one step. I would probably have done the 3's, the a squareds, maybe the a plus b, and then left the b for the next step, but you guys saw it, so. All right, so what am I left with? There's a minus b times 3 times a, and then this is all over 2b squared. Okay, and then this is kind of an awkward way to write this, yeah? So I personally, and this is not a points off thing, but I personally would rewrite this as 3a minus b over 2b squared. But that's just me. Cool.
And we're not gonna get marked down if we don't.
Yeah, if you leave it like this, I'm not going to mark you down, right? But for future use, I would really recommend that you go to this, because in general, you're not going to be asked to kind of do this once and then not do anything with the answer, right? Like, we're training you to do stuff, but we're training you to do it as part of a bigger problem. So right now, yeah, this is the end. But in calculus class or whatever, you're going to want this thing instead. Cool? Yeah, we're going to do another one. So there's the answer to this one. Okay. Let's do another one and then we'll take a 5-minute break. Where'd my sheet go? Okay. Does everyone agree that this fraction is truly terrifying?
I want to rearrange it.
Fraction has one line.
Yeah, I think
Bad.
a fraction has one line. Okay, but we're doing scary fractions, right? Can we all agree that this is a scarier fraction than the kind that have one line? Yeah, this is a super scary fraction, right? So what do we do?
See, they beat bar.
You make me into what?
Okay, I would advise maybe against write it out, just for now.
How are you supposed to do that?
So what I would advise towards is panic, one, right, fully. And then realize that, okay, there's a bunch of little fractions here, right? Can I maybe deal with the little fractions a bit better? Let me think this. So let me say, all right, I would think, okay, like this stuff, I'm going to think of as top, top. Right? What's this one? Bottom, top. It's the bottom of the top.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Top of top, bottom of top. This guy is the top of bottom, right? And this dude is the bottom of the bottom. Okay? So, all right. The bottom of the bottoms is pretty chill, right? I'm good with that one. The rest of these are a bit scary. So maybe I would deal with some of these first, right? So let me think, all right, I've got this top of top thing. That's 1 plus x over y, right? Can I simplify that at all?
Multiply it by one.
See, so right now it's like a number and a fraction added together. I'm wanting to do fraction-y things, right? So maybe I should make it into a one whole fraction piece, right? That'll let me divide it by this stuff, right? You guys see that? So how do I make it into one whole fraction? Yeah, I should find a common bottom. The common bottom on this guy is what? Y.
Why?
So I should take my 1, multiply it by y over y, right? So y over y plus x over y gives me, good, x plus y over y. Okay, so there's my simplification for the top of the top, right? All right, let me do the same thing for the bottom of the top. What's the bottom of the top? 1 minus x over y. So that's y over y minus x over y gives me y minus x over y. Cool? You guys with me on this? Okay, so now what's the top? Yeah, but it's not so bad, right? It's this thing divided by that thing, right? So I just write this thing down, x plus y over y. That's supposed to be a y. Right, yeah, and I need parentheses. And then I'm dividing by that thing, right? So that's the same as multiplying by that thing flipped over. So I multiply by that thing flipped over, and I get this. And this needs parentheses around that guy at least. So, you guys see anything that cancels? Yeah, the y's are a onesie, right? We cross the y's out, and we're left with we're left with x plus y over y minus x. That's the top, right? You guys see that? This wasn't so bad. I got the top already.
Okay.
Now what am I looking for? Now I should probably look at the bottom, right? Okay, so I go back and I think, all right, the bottom of the bottom is easy, right? That's something I'm already comfy with. The top of the bottom is kind of annoying, so let me work with that. So what's the top of the bottom? That's x minus y squared over x. Okay, so what's a common bottom for those guys? X. So I need to take my x, right, over 1, really, and multiply by x over x. Okay. And that's minus y squared over x. So I get x squared minus y squared over x, right? And now I'm looking for, okay, what's the bottom?
X plus y.
The bottom's, so the bottom of the bottom's x plus y, right? The whole bottom is the top of the bottom divided by the bottom of the bottom.
X plus y over 1.
So I get x squared minus y squared over x, and then I'm dividing by x plus y over 1, right? You guys with me on this? Which is difference of squares, so that's x plus y times x minus y over x multiplied by
1 over x plus 5.
1 over x plus y.
Wait. Oh, you turned.
So I did difference of squares to this piece, and then I flipped that over because I was dividing by it.
What is that though? Where is that? Piece that you flipped over?
This guy?
Yeah, where you started.
That's the bottom of the bottom.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, now what? Oh, there's an x plus y 1z that I can cancel, right? So cancel those guys, and I'm left with x minus y over x. Okay, so now where do I go?
Divide your top.
Yeah, I divide the top by the bottom. Okay,
Now do we write it?
cool. So this whole thing, right? My original fraction, this guy, right, equals the top divided by the bottom, right? So that's x plus y over y minus x divided by x minus y over x. Okay, see this?
Are we gonna have, are we writing it out, or are we gonna do something with it?
Now we should be able to do something with it, right? Because they're both kind of reasonable fractions. This is like actually an easy 9.2 problem. You see this? So I say, all right, this is x plus y over y minus x times x over x minus y.
Do we take out the x's? At the bottom of the negative one?
Okay, I could factor a negative 1 out of the bottom. You guys see that? Okay, so this is x plus y times x divided by negative 1. And then there's a y minus x and a y minus x. Can I cancel anything?
Wait, why didn't you put a minus 1 on top too?
You can.
Wait, isn't it x minus y, not y minus x? So the second one?
They should both be the same. It depends on which one you factor the negative 1 out of.
Oh, okay.
If you factor the negative 1 out of this one, which is what I chose to do, then you get 2 y minus x's. If you factor it out of this one, you get 2 x minus y's. You guys all see this? Okay. Can I cancel anything? Probably not. That's okay. Yeah. So I get this stuff. What's the only improvement I can make rewriting this stuff? Yeah, I could replace the 2 y minus x's with my y minus x squared. That's about all I can do. And I could put the negative 1 on the top. So I could say this is minus x times x plus y over y minus x squared.
And this is just for the bottom?
No, that's the whole thing. Remember, the bottom was this.
Yeah.
The top was this. So I took the top divided by the bottom and got what the whole thing was equal to. There were lots of tops and bottoms flinging around here, right? Cool.
I got lost when we did the bottom.
So the bottom of the bottom was just x plus y, right?
Yeah.
If I want to write that as a fraction, I would kind of think. So if I wanted to talk about the bottom of the bottom, I would think that's x plus y, right? Oh, but everything I've been dealing with is a fraction, so let me just say over 1.
And that's why it's right there.
Yep, so the bottom is this is the top of the bottom divided by the bottom of the bottom, right?
All right, thank you.
Does that help, guys? So what's the key on these?
Do it again.
Don't panic, right? Work on little pieces. So here, the key is, this is a whole mess, right? But let me break it into, okay, there's a top of a top. I can work with that. That's just a little guy. Okay, there's a bottom of the top. I can work with that. That's not too big. Oh, to figure out the whole top, I take the top and divide by the bottom, right? Top of the top, bottom of the bottom, the bottom of the top.
Is it technically just two separate things?
Yeah, really, there's two things happening here, right? There's this thing getting divided by that thing. That's the top, right? And the bottom. That's this top is that thing, and this bottom is that thing. You guys see that? Just breaking it into little pieces and fiddling with the pieces.
And did you always like math? Did you always get
Yeah.
this?